morning sun in San Francisco shone softly, casting a golden glow over the Golden Gate Bridge. Yoo Yeon-seok stepped out of his luxurious hotel in Union Square, wearing a long beige coat and a dark blue scarf that complemented his handsome appearance. That day, he was not alone. By his side, a woman with a gentle smile walked alongside him, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "What's the plan for today?" she asked. Yeon-seok smiled mysteriously. "A little adventure. You'll love it." They started the day by walking hand in hand to Pier 39, enjoying the sea view, the sound of seals lounging on the docks, and the aroma of fresh bread from nearby shops. Yeon-seok bought 2 cups of hot coffee and handed one to her. "We'll need energy for today," he said with a playful smile. From there, they continued to the Chase Center. The night before, Yeon-seok had attended the NBA All-Star Game, an incredible experience for him as a basketball fan. Today, he wanted to share his enthusiasm, taking the woman to see the stadium up close and recounting how lively the game had been. "So, what's the next surprise?" the woman asked curiously. Yeon-seok took her hand and led her to Napa Valley, to the famous Joseph Phelps Vineyards. The lush green vineyards welcomed them, with a serene atmosphere that brought peace to their hearts. They sat on a wooden terrace, enjoying a glass of red wine with its distinctive aroma. The woman gazed at the scenery in awe. "This is perfect," she whispered. Yeon-seok looked at her meaningfully. "I knew you'd love it." They chatted, shared laughter, and talked about their dreams as the sky slowly turned into a golden orange hue. As the sun began to set, the woman turned to Yeon-seok and smiled softly. "Thank you for today. Feels like a dream." Yeon-seok let out a light sigh, then kissed the top of her head affectionately. "Then let's make this dream last longer." That night, they walked along the beach in San Francisco, accompanied by the sound of waves and the moonlight shining in the sky. No words were needed. It was just the two of them, enjoying the warmth that was slowly growing between them. The night breeze of San Francisco blew gently, carrying the salty and fresh scent of the ocean. Yoo Yeon-seok and the woman walked side by side along the beach, their steps in sync with the waves lapping the sand. The moonlight reflecting on the sea created a shimmering effect, adding to the romantic atmosphere between them. No words were spoken for a while, just a comfortable silence as if the world belonged only to them. The woman finally stopped and looked at Yeon-seok with a meaningful gaze. "I've always wondered what it would be like to walk along the beach with someone special," she said softly. Yeon-seok turned to her, smiled slightly, and tucked a strand of her wind-blown hair behind her ear. "And how does it feel now?" he asked. The woman smiled shyly, then nodded slowly. "Better than I imagined." They continued walking until they arrived at a small restaurant overlooking the sea. The dim lighting on the terrace provided a pleasant warmth. Yeon-seok pulled out a chair for her before sitting across from her. A waiter brought 2 glasses of white wine they had ordered, and their conversation flowed effortlessly, from childhood memories to places they wanted to visit and their dreams for the future. When the main course arrived, a plate of fresh, appetizing seafood, the woman smiled softly. "I still can't believe we're here right now. It feels like a dream too beautiful to be true." Yeon-seok looked at her gently, raising his glass slightly. "Then let's toast to dreams coming true." They locked eyes as their glasses clinked with a clear sound, then sipped their wine slowly. When dinner was over, they walked back to the hotel, enjoying the increasingly quiet night. However, before reaching the entrance, Yeon-seok suddenly stopped and pulled the woman close. His heart beat faster as he looked into her eyes intensely. "I'm glad you're here with me," he whispered. The woman held her breath for a moment before smiling warmly. "Me too." Without hesitation, Yeon-seok leaned in slowly, until their lips met in a gentle kiss under the starry sky of San Francisco. That night, between the sea breeze and the city lights, something more than just a journey had begun. A story that might continue, wherever their steps would take them. The night in San Francisco felt even more magical after their first kiss. Yoo Yeon-seok and the woman still stood under the starry sky, letting the moment warm their hearts. Slowly, Yeon-seok took her hand, feeling her fingers cold from the night breeze. "Let's go inside. I don't want you to catch a cold," he said softly. They stepped into the hotel lobby, where the golden light from the luxurious chandeliers created a warm and serene atmosphere. Yeon-seok pressed the elevator button, and the two stood side by side in comfortable silence. When the elevator doors opened, they walked to their respective rooms. But before the woman entered hers, she turned and looked at Yeon-seok with a hesitant gaze. "I don't want tonight to end yet," she said quietly. Yeon-seok smiled, then took her hand once more. "Then don't let it end." He led her to the balcony of his room, which offered a direct view of the glittering San Francisco skyline. In the distance, the Golden Gate Bridge stood majestically, illuminated by shimmering lights. They sat side by side on rattan chairs, enjoying the cool night breeze while sharing small stories that made them laugh. The woman leaned on Yeon-seok's shoulder, feeling comfortable in the warmth he provided. "I didn't expect this trip to be so beautiful," she murmured. Yeon-seok looked at her gently, his fingers softly stroking her hair. "Sometimes, the best things in life come unplanned," he said. The night grew late, but they were in no rush to sleep. They spent time talking, getting to know each other better, and enjoying each other's presence. Finally, when sleepiness began to take over, the woman yawned softly and smiled shyly. "I think I really need to sleep now," she said. Yeon-seok nodded, then gently kissed her forehead before letting her go. As the door closed, Yeon-seok remained on the balcony, gazing at the night sky with an irrepressible smile. He knew something had changed that night, something more than just an ordinary journey. It was the beginning of a new story, an adventure not only about the city they explored, but also about hearts that were now daring to open. San Francisco was not just a destination, but a silent witness to feelings that might grow larger than they had ever imagined. The next morning, the sunlight of San Francisco streamed through the curtains of Yoo Yeon-seok's room. He stretched slowly in bed, recalling the previous night, her smile, her gaze, and the warmth that still lingered on his fingertips. A strange yet pleasant feeling filled his chest, something more than just an ordinary encounter.